guys, welcome back to the Come Up New York Season 3 After Show. I'm your host, REMDELAREM, and today we have Chance.
Yes, Chance.
What's up? And apparently you have a lot to say about about today's episode, about last week's episode. We just got a lot to talk about. But before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Click the little bell and thumbs up button. Let's get into it. I just have a few things I want to recap and just talk about. So we left off last episode, just Justin kind of just coming straight for Spanky's neck on what could or may, depends on who's looking at it. It could have been or could not have been shade. What did you feel like what Spanky said was shade? Would you have received it like that?
I feel like I can get both perspectives when it comes to that, because it's just like, I feel like Justin, as he said, he did watch the previous season, so he already had this preconceived notion of Spanky probably. So he probably thought Spanky was trying to, try it with him because he's the new guy or whatever. But me knowing Spanky, I know it's just certain I don't think he felt any harm by it. He was probably more surprised that he's like, oh, you know me.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides. Do I think it warranted that outburst? No, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. And then everybody went around the table and started kind of which I feel like that took everyone by surprise about everyone showcasing their talent. Right. Or whatever. It was kind of at points it was awkward, Mitch kind of was eating bread and then couldn't hit the note that he attempted to hit.
I fumbled over a word.
Fumbled a little bit, and it was just sort of what a Spanky just
has a hat.
Yeah, so it was just sort of
needed a lint roller.
So and then Mitch's reaction, because you didn't see that, because Mitch didn't really have the reaction at the table. Right. But in the confessional, Mitch had a few things to say.
Yeah, which is it's pretty amazing to me, because this energy, I'd be so curious, where did it come from? I didn't know, because when I'm in the flesh, it's never that, So while we were sitting there, he was like, yeah, it's cool. I like your flow. I definitely hear the J. Cole vibe you was talking about. And his confession, I mean, I watched all of season 2 and he didn't have that. I don't know what he's talking about. But it's just like, oh, you're pressed. This whole episode proved that you're pressed. You watched season 2 and you thought this would be your opportunity for your come up, because it couldn't be your music. You only have 2 singles out, which, by the way, I would love to know which is it, because in episode 1 you said you was working on the 2nd single about your father, but in this episode it's your 3rd single. So did we skip a single? Did that middle single flop? I'm confused. I'm confuzzled. But clearly his music is not a priority. Chance and my bad sex is a priority.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that part a little bit later. And I felt like you came into the event where it was a lunch. It wasn't an event. It was a lunch. Do you feel like you came into lunch ready for some sort of, not altercation, but just sort of an argument with Spanky, but then saw the way Justin came at him? Do you feel like it made you kind of go less hard as you intended? Or were you already just gonna be calm and be listen? I mean, you were always kind of calm, right? But I felt like because I saw your face when Justin was coming at Spanky, you were just kind of oh, yeah. Well, that was supposed to be me.
So the thing was, I'm usually not the one to come out swinging unless it's bad. But I won't lie and sit here and say I didn't feel kind of bad for Spanky when that was going on, because what y'all didn't get to see was it was a part where Justin was going off on him, and he was like, I think I should leave, So I felt kind of bad in that moment. And sometimes Spanky does things, but he doesn't like to own up to it. He likes to deflect, he likes to lie, he likes to backtrack. So it was just you're mad at him, but you remember this boy, he's a punk. So it was just why am I beating and battering? Right, because that was gonna be my next observation, which is I just kind of felt at a certain point it felt like y'all were just kind of ganging up on this person who was just kind of mute, sort of he was just kind of well, See, before,
you know, it's like trying to fight somebody who doesn't want to fight back. It's
right.
kind of like what, you know. Then it's just
see, before I used to feel like that, but after the reunion, you see him throwing a punch, a kick to the rib. Talk about who's like that, who's not like that. You see the last week's after show, he's just pumping his gums. So it was just like, why should I feel bad? You don't feel bad when you're being messy and going back and forth and doing all these things. I think the silence is just the result of you being caught up in your bullshit. You don't know what to say.
Right, because the memory loss, and again, I'm just being, you know, I met Spanky last time. Love him, don't really, you know, I have to be a mediator and just say what but he just kind of was, the memory loss was kind of like, I just don't remember. And I was like, well, how do you not?
And I just want to know, make it make sense. Because in that scene, you don't remember. Then there was a point where, you know, Montel explained the FaceTime situation, how you came over here and you FaceTime him with me in the background or whatever the case may be. And you said, yes, that's true. But then last week on the after show, now I'm a liar, that never happened, it's delusional. So which is it, love? I'm gonna need you to pick one because I'm confused. Let us know. Let me know because it's on film. You know, but then it's like Chance needs a storyline. Chance is aggressive. Chance is ghetto. Chance don't know how to act. No, y'all bitches don't know how to keep it a buck and keep my dick out of y'all mouths.
I wanted to ask because I know you weren't outside for the whole Montel, Spanky and Mitch kind of thing, but I just kind of felt like Spanky was just looking at Mitch like, "What are you here for?"
Right.
Like Mitch was like, "Well, can you just own up to?" Spanky was just like. And it was just really supposed to be like a Spanky and Montel moment.
Exactly.
And Mitch was just sort of just like, you know, well, why don't you just own it? And Spanky was just like, what do you?
Yeah, it's like, Mitch, you don't even know. I mean, well, clearly you're highly invested in us because you watched all of last season. So maybe you know more than what we know, you know?
So you feel like Mitch is like a fan of a show and it's just hyped to be involved?
Yeah, he's someone that begged to be on the show, like literally, because I have receipts of it. You begged to be on the show. You finally
a lot of receipts.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
You begged to be on the show. You finally got your chance to be on the show, and you was itching for something because clearly you feel like you're not talented. I feel like internally you feel that way because instead of relying on your talent, you relied on getting into everyone else's business, which doesn't make sense to me. If your singing was so good, because you
right, and that's the thing because I feel like you're someone who's not a fan, like, you know, because I guess if someone asks how you know someone, it's like, oh, well, I know them through this or whatever, but you're not someone who likes to kiss and tell. Like if we had relations, that's between us, and until we speak about being able to talk about it openly, you just want that's how you roll, that's how you are. Just
yeah, because this is true T. There's other cast members that I used to talk to.
Because didn't something similar like that happen in a previous season?
No. That was two other people.
Okay,
But
you were there. You were there.
Yeah,
for it.
I was around for it. And then that's just not my style. So first of all, I want to clear this up because he said it was a year ago. Now this is my first batch of receipts. Mr. Ariel, aka Methy Mitch. Yes, because the girls told us that you're on Tina. These texts, you see that date right there?
September 16, 2017, which is more than a year ago.
Definitely more than a year ago. About 3 years ago from now, but when we filmed this, it's definitely more than a year ago. So I don't know if it got your dick hard to make it seem more recent than it was. I don't know if you're fantasizing about me. And I feel like, you know, let me slow down. But y'all get the picture.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So lie number one. Let's keep count, you guys. Let me put a tally on my marker board. So we're gonna put
Mitch's lies.
Yeah. Wait.
You want to put Methy Mitch?
Yes, Methy Mitch, of course. How could I forget? Right. So we heard that you know you purchased some meth, which makes sense because you have some weird ass tendencies. And you take it. Yeah. So lies. we're gonna do this for both Spanky and Mitch because they're both liars. So we got 1 tally for Mitch, and we're gonna put.
You just want to start with a few because you.
Dusty hats. All right, we're gonna put that. How many lies do I have for Spanky? You lied about the FaceTime call. Oh yeah, Mitch, you lied about the single because that wasn't your 3rd single. You lied about that. So yeah, we'll keep 1 for Spanky for now.
So directly after the outside thing with Montel and Mitch and Spanky, then Montel decides to just switch it up a little bit and just starts to be like in the middle of the lunch, just be like, hey Justin, why don't you get naked and show us your body? What were your thoughts? Because I felt like everybody was just sort of like, it turned into like Chippendales. Everybody was just like, look at the piece of meat and just, let's, who can touch and who can. You seemed intrigued, but the least involved.
Yeah, because my thing is, it's just certain things I'm not in. When it comes to certain things, I'm private.
Right.
I like to be private. I like to have my fun. I like to enjoy, stuff. But I'm private with it. And the thing is, Mitch wasn't first choice. Actually, it started from Ken. They wanted Ken to do it. Ken was like, nah, I'm good. Then they went from Chance. Chance, no, I'm good. And then you have Mitch in the back of the classroom like, hey, I'm here, I'm around. And he did it. And then he didn't even do it right. You don't pick, you're supposed to do it with your mouth.
Yeah. So, okay. The next scene was, I think you ended up going to talk to Justin alone.
Right.
And so I saw you encouraging Justin to kind of reconcile with Spanky.
Right.
Which means you don't necessarily. You're not like a hateful or spiteful person, clearly, because you're like you can dislike someone, but doesn't mean you want that person to necessarily if I got beef with them, you have to have beef with them,
right.
Which I thought was a good, because I'm the same way. It's unless it's like we're like best friends and it's like okay, then we have to hate that bitch together, right?
Right.
But that just shows part of your character. Is that a common thing with you? It's you want or is that sort of you kind of have I don't really hate Spanky, I just hate them right now.
The thing is, that's just me, period. I feel like, because sometimes what you have to understand is, on this show, people are playing a game instead of being authentic or being themselves, So, because my interaction with this person might just be because of my position on the show, who I am as a person, it doesn't necessarily mean that this, I don't think Spanky is just this horrible, bad guy. It's just we don't get along. We can't keep it straightforward. Right. So I was encouraging Justin because I'm like, you're new coming on here. Give him a chance. It was literally 5 seconds. Y'all were in the same space.
Yeah, and a lot of it had to do with preconceived notions because y'all did have a conversation before, and it was just Justin just had this sort of idea of Spanky, and then then it just then it was that, and then it was just sort of
right. And I feel like it's nothing wrong with that because I had my preconceived notions about them coming on.
Yeah, we all
season
do.
2.
Anybody says they're not.
Don't act on it so much. Let it simmer, see for yourself, observe. So
absolutely.
That's where my head was.
Absolutely. And so before, because I have another question, I feel like you have a lot to say. So from both episodes so far, right? From an outsider, again, I'm completely neutral. I'm just watching the show along. I get it a week early, guys. Sorry. But so far, it just seems that Justin has been. Maybe it comes off as messiness, but maybe or an over eagerness to just sort of just be super seems oh well, Mitch said this,
right?
And then it's just always oh well, I'm not gonna let that little thing from Spanky go. Do you feel like he's messy for the show? Because I asked Spanky this for the last episode, sorry. Do you think or it's just that's just character. That's just his personality.
I feel like, because I know being a new boy, I feel like certain people, they don't know how to maneuver. So I feel like in that moment, he felt like Spanky was trying him for whatever reason, I don't know. I felt like in that moment, if you see, he's like, because I brought everyone here today and I don't have time for, he's trying to insert his dominance. And you don't have to do that, because when I came in, you know, leaving the reunion, I whooped somebody's ass. I didn't come on here not one time and be like, yeah, bitch, I got these hands, I'll whoop your ass, da da da. I let everyone, you know, so I feel like
you didn't speak for itself.
Yeah, I wish he allowed his personality to simmer and, you know, just wait for that time where it was really worth it to go that hard, because he went hard. Because first impressions are like everything, especially because you never know how much camera time you're actually gonna get. Right.
So when you think you're on a show and you're like, oh, I have to like do this, and then I can like, oh, I wilded out, so like, you know, then the next time I have to like be calm and show my. But with editing, you don't know, because then they could just completely edit out the parts that you are sane and level-headed, and then it's like, well, this is good for the show, right? You know, so I'm glad we were on the same page with that. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about the alleged one-night stand that happened? Is there anything that you wanted to like clear up?
Let me go on my notes, child. Because he made this lovely video about me last night. So I want y'all to hear. Okay. He spent his time, you know, writing about this bad bottom over here. So let's listen. Hold on.
So I'm hearing this bitch ass nigga Chan's got a lot to say about me on his motherfucking lives and shit. So I decided to write a rap about that bitch ass nigga since he claiming he do this rap shit. So check it. I came on the scene on some humble shit. Now I'm pulling all cars on some disrespectful shit. You talking about I don't have a come up, but you the main one without no come up. Fuck your personal growth. We don't want to see that. We want to see what you really about in real life. But what you really about is having dick in your mouth, and you should really try to run a business in that ass, since you're giving ass for no cash. And ain't no lie I told, cause the bros I know you let hit and all. And no cute apartment, I heard you got the clap, and the clap got you that, bitch.
So it's very lovely. So let's talk about number one. I hope America loves you. The clap got me the apartment, right? So you got something you want to?
The clap is gonorrhea. Gonorrhea doesn't get you anything besides a shot in the ass and a pill.
I'm so glad that you added on, because you know what he really was insinuating, that I have HIV and I got my apartment through HIV. Actually, just got tested because I wanted to get checked up. This is my real name, my date of birth. The date of the visit is March 16th, 2020.
It says negative.
Oh, and I want people.
And there's just full disclosure. There's nothing wrong with being undetectable, untransmittable. HIV shaming is awful and terrible.
I feel like that's nothing to throw a dig at, especially on social media. You never know who you're offending. I have friends who had, HIV or whatever. And people need to understand that HIV is not like just this horrible thing that you choose to go out there and get. Some people have relationships and get, infidelities. They get it that way. Some people have gotten raped before and got it that way. Yeah, so I just feel like that's very disgusting of you. If you're curious to how me, Chance, have a 2-bedroom apartment to myself in NYC, it's because I was a home attendant to my grandmother who stayed here for over 60 years, and I took care of her before she died, and I inherited the apartment after she passed away. It's a little weird, but Mitch, you know so much.
You wanted to address the bottom shaming also that he tried.
Yes, so the thing is, because I'm a real ass nigga, I am a verse guy. Lately, I've been on my top shit because I feel like I grow out of things.
It comes in waves.
Yeah, it's just like if I want it, if I don't want it, it is what it is. It's my sex life. It's nothing wrong with being a bottom. Why do you people in our community come on these platforms and on social media shaming people for the things you like them for? You like ass, but why are you shaming people
for bottoming?
For bottoming.
Right. What would you be as the top without bottoms?
So with that,
did you want to add anything to the live?
Oh yeah. So we're gonna add.
Yeah.
I got the apartment from the clap. Okay. I have the clap. That's another one. Lie.
You got it from Section 8 housing.
Oh yes, you know what? I don't know what would I do without you. Sick. So it looks like for being a lying ass bitch, Mefty Mitch takes the cake from Dusty Hats. So it's just fucking amazing. Yes. Let the people.
The score
see.
Currently is 6-1.
I can give you an award for being a lying ass, fake ass, dusty ass, raggedy ass, untalented ass, dumpster juice ass, bottom of the barrel, worthless ass bitch. Thank you.
I want to talk about the preview for the next episode.
Sure.
Actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, we might have to add to the.
Yes. Yes.
So the preview looked incredibly spicy. That's when y'all were doing what I assume is the Hennessy and game. I don't remember what he called it.
Do say.
Yeah, that one. Something happened with water because everybody was a little moist.
Right.
And then y'all went to the back kind of like area, and then that's when an altercation seems like it's about to go down.
Right.
It's about to be crazy. Episode 3. We're just jumping right into everything this whole season, right?
Right.
I mean, don't spoil anything, but did that go the way that you expected it to go, or it just went left quick, or is that how you expected it to go? Knowing Justin, and then knowing yourself, and knowing Mitch.
Knowing Justin, I knew it was potential for it to go left, but did I think it was? I thought it was gonna be a me and Mitch thing. The thing is, and I can't wait for y'all to watch it, I was very surprised when I asked the question, the answer that I got, and now watching this, it's just like, it's crazy, you know? So I just have no respect, there's no way for us.
And there's no way to ever be friends again.
No, because you continue to bash and talk about me on social media after you went on here and you lie. I confront you about your lies. You lie some more. You're writing raps about me. You're so-called putting my business out about how I'm supposedly got my Section 8 apartment, and you know you're taking digs at all types of people. You're taking digs at people who are HIV positive. You're taking digs at people who do have government assistance in Section 8 housing, and I don't find the shade cute nor funny
or clever or original.
Yeah, it's just, you're just disgusting. You know, you're just a bad, you know. And I'm not gonna speak on the things that you were talking about, but it's clear to see that you're hurt. You're very miserable inside. You waited 3 years to come on this platform and try to embarrass me with that information, and all it got was you punched in the face. And it's not a spoiler because it's all over the trailer, it's all over the preview, you know, so I'm sorry.
So you just want to add one more?
Yeah, just, you know,
Just for good luck.
So that's 7 lies. 7. I was born on a 7.
Right.
Seven's
a lucky number.
It's a lot going on.
Maybe you'll have more luck after this.
Maybe so. You'll be lucky if you never run into me again.
Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think we can successfully conclude the second episode of the after show for the Come Up New York Season 3.
Yes.
Once again, I'm REMDELAREM. You can find me at REMDELAREM on Instagram and Twitter. And where can they find you?
You can find me on _ all by chance on Instagram. You can add me on Facebook, Chance J. I don't really be on there, but you know, at your pleasure.
Anyway, yeah. So stay tuned. I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Peace.